Florida and Texas are in big trouble. We can't forget to elevate and push all of the damage that's happening because of this administration. We cannot forget. We have to keep it in the faces of everybody, including MAGA. So in Texas, this flood, it looks like 24 people have lost their lives, and they're still looking for 20 girls from a camp that are still missing. And officials there are laying it square on the feet of the National Weather Service. They did not get any kind of weather prediction or report that 20 plus feet of flash floods, water levels were going to be coming out of nowhere. They got nothing, really. And we got to talk about that because the National Weather Service, 25% on average across the country of the staff were fired because of DOGE, okay? Because of DOGE. So now there's an employee shortfall. And these cuts to the National Weather Service, including the budget, comes at a bad time when the technology that they were using was in desperate need of an upgrade to help give information to the states so they could initiate their emergency prepared plans and communicate to people so that like this campground could have got the proper warnings and evacuated the girls instead of thinking it's just going to be a couple of feet of water and just stay in your cabins. And when you look at the proportion of National Weather Service employees that were cut, you got Texas. Their Houston office alone lost 45% of their staffing. This is a state with high severe weather events, that in Florida. And Governor Abbott just kissed Trump's ring and said, we love the cuts to the National Weather Service, all the cuts, keep cutting. So I'm so sorry for the Texans who lost their lives. My heart is breaking for the 20 girls that are missing. But Texas, you voted for this. But I'm not done. Now comes the FEMA. The budget bill was passed, and it cuts $646 million from FEMA. And it returns, because it's sitting on money waiting for emergencies, for disasters, it's returning $882 million to the Treasury. Okay? And the program that helped communities build infrastructures for their weather events, whether it was hurricane-proof, windfire burning, non-combustible materials, this $3.6 billion program was cut. And this one's going to get you guys. Are you ready for this? The alligator prison, Alcatraz, whatever they're calling it in Florida, cost $646 million that Floridians, the state of Florida, is paying for, and they will be getting all of that money back by FEMA. So our FEMA disaster relief funds are being used for ICE. They already cut the budget, and what money is remaining, a big chunk is going to illegally house and torture brown people. And Florida and Texas, hear me out on this. 1/3 of FEMA funds out of all 50 states, 1/3 of the funds are continually being allocated to Texas and Florida, those two states, because of all the natural disasters. So now, you've got the worst part of hurricane season coming up as we approach the fall, especially for Florida. You've got these, the National Weather Service staff in each of the offices that are short-staffed. You've got crumbling technology that's needed to give people warnings about the hurricanes. You've got the major cuts in funding and staffing to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, which does the studying and hands it to the National Weather Service so that they can predict what's coming, what's around the corner. All of it gutted. So Trump supporters in Texas and Florida, you paid for this. So when these natural disasters hit, and people haven't been prepared, and lives are lost. So much property damage, and you name it. And when you won't get the FEMA funds to help rebuild, you're going to want to turn it into your insurance company. Well, guess what's already happening there? Insurance companies are already leaving these states, and they're making premiums incredibly hard, and they're not covering certain things. They're not, because they're not in the business of having hundreds of millions of dollars for every hurricane just sitting there to pay out. They don't have that kind of money.